Hey guys, this is Ashton, and today I'm doing my mom's makeup. I just want to give a full disclaimer and say that I'm in no way a professional makeup artist. I just enjoy doing makeup every, now and then. I do my makeup pretty often, and so I've kind of perfected my craft as far as makeup on my face, and so people like for me to transfer that onto their faces, and that's what I'm doing here. And while we're at it, let's give a big shout out to Mama Rose's edges because they're laid. All right, this is no like concentrated layage. This is just her natural lay of her edges. Can we just give it up for the edges? I just put on the primer and I used it with a brush. It was the Becca primer. Now I'm applying the foundation by NARS. I'll have my mom put everything in the description box. But this is the NARS foundation, and I'm applying it with a damp sponge. I find that when you do it with a damp sponge, it just, I don't know, it lays differently, especially with the NARS because it's a full coverage. I don't know, it doesn't look as suffocating, I guess, as most full coverage foundations look. It just gives it a nice dewy finish. However, imperfections are definitely well covered. So I love it because of that. Right here, I'm just taking some translucent setting powder and buffing it into the skin just to lock in that foundation so that it doesn't slide and to give it more of a flawless finish. If you can see, it kind of smooths everything over and kind of blurs my mom's pores. So it's just a technique. After I apply anything wet, I always try to set it with the powder because it makes sure that it lasts and it doesn't move. Right here, this is a new thing that I've been doing. I usually use Fix Plus by MAC, but now I'm using Mario Badescu's Rose Water. I find that it really hydrates the skin even after you apply the powder and the foundation, and it just sets everything really, really nice. But it sets everything really good, and it gives it a nice skin-like finish. So that's always a plus. Alright, so now we're getting into the brows, which is one of my favorite parts of doing makeup, is a brow because it just opens up that eye, it frames the face, and it just ties everything together. And believe it or not, I'm using an eyeshadow out of the James Charles palette. I find that for me, eyeshadows work a lot better than like what's the dip brow? The Anastasia. I love Anastasia Beverly Hills, by the way, but I don't know. I've just been on this eyeshadow kick for a while to where I don't really even use the Anastasia Beverly Hills. And I use 3 different shades of eyeshadow. So in the front, I use a lighter, warmer shade. In the middle, I use a darker shade. And at the end, I use black. If the person I'm doing makeup on has black hair. Fortunately, me and my mom have black hair. So I use black on our ends just to give it a crisp look. And you see, I smooth it out and make sure that it's not too harsh. And then I go through and I clean them up with some concealer. So I have a whole little technique. I know that it might be very unconventional to some, but I love using the powder. It just does something for me. It's not as messy. I don't have to set it. I don't have to you know what I mean? I don't have to worry about my eyebrows being gone. If I rub my face, it's pretty, foolproof. It's there. Okay, Mama Rose getting it. Hey, hey, hey. Alright, and this is where I start to kind of carve it out and clean it up with the foundation, or sorry, the concealer. Just taking it under that brow, and I apply it onto the full lid because I actually use concealer as a bit of a base for my eyeshadow. But I just want to make sure that I get a nice crisp line, just to make sure that there's no crookedness to the line that's under the brow, because we all know that the brow has to be perfect, right? If the brow is not perfect, then the whole makeup, just throw the whole makeup look away. But that's what I'm doing here, just taking a good concealer that's kind of close to her skin tone, and cleaning that up. Alright, and here's a tip for everybody out there that's watching. Whenever you're doing your eye makeup, don't be afraid to lift up your eye, especially if you have a hooded eye, like myself or like my mom. Don't be afraid to lift it up. Don't be afraid to straighten it out and get in there. You can always fix whatever you might mess up as far as like your fingerprint or something like that. But hopefully if you set your makeup right, there are no fingerprints. But there could be, because you have oil in your fingerprints. So, all of that does play a factor. But don't be afraid to lift up the eye, to really get in there, because you want your application of whatever it is that you're putting on to be even and full. You don't want creases. I hate when I see someone with eyeshadow on and there are these hideous creases because they didn't lift and get the product into the full eye, if that makes any sense at all. Alright, so now it's time to start building that highlight. I'm applying a concealer that's closer to her skin tone right now, just to even things out. Thank goodness she doesn't have dark circles. So just to give a little bit of an evenness to the under eye. And then I'm going to go through with a lighter concealer just to amplify this. It's going to be a more dramatic look. So you want to really have a nice unnatural highlight. Natural, but very unnatural, very played up, very dramatic, and popping. You want to make it pop, because highlight dictates the shape of your face. When you draw the light towards whatever areas that you're highlighting, it definitely does shape the face in a nice flattering way, depending on how you do it. Right here though, I am setting that base that I applied down with that concealer. I'm setting it with a nice neutral nudish eyeshadow, just to kind of give it a base. And you see how it smooths everything out, and it really sets that wet concealer that's on her eye. Now, this is a step that I really highly recommend for anybody who wants a slamming brow. Do we still use slamming? Is that still? Okay. Anyway, I love taking a lighter concealer and going into the outer corner of your brow, as I'm doing here, just to highlight and to brighten that, and it opens the eyes so much, especially again if you have hooded eyes like myself or my mom. It opens the eye, the face, it just gives it a pop, and it does amazing things. So put a little bit of lighter concealer, blend it just in the corner, don't take it through the whole eyebrow, just in the corner, just to give it you'll thank me later, just thank me later. Alright, now we're going to start with eyeshadow. I'm just going into the crease with a warmer brown from the Morphe James Charles palette. Again, I'll try to have everything listed in the description bar below, or the description box below, excuse me. So that way you know what I'm using, just in case you want to try this look out. But yeah, and here's another tip. Whenever you're doing, you know, eyeshadow or makeup period, it doesn't have to look amazing the whole ride through, right? So like whenever you're doing it, there are going to be times when it looks kind of like messy, right? But that's okay. You can clean it up. There's all types of things you can do to clean it up. Your main thing is blending and just laying down the foundation and then making sure everything's blended at the end. But you'll see it. It'll all come together. Just get in the mirror, you know, make mistakes, go crazy, and you'll see that it comes together. Like you'll get it. All right, we're going to go for a smoky eye today. So I laid down the crease. I laid down a nice transition color. And now I'm going onto the eyelid with a black. And I'm going to blend that out and really just smoke it out. Y'all, my mom is literally always dancing. Like, always. All right, now we're going to be applying the lashes. Can we just give it up for that smoke and that brow? Do you see that? I love it. But we're applying some lashes now. And yeah, we're going to get these applied. And then we're going to move. Bang. Look at. That's it. That's it. I mean, how can you... People that don't wear lashes, to me, I don't trust them. I don't trust people that don't wear lashes. You got to put on a lash every now and then. It just does something to the entire face. It's amazing. Look at that. Everything. All right, right here I'm just doing some cleanup. Whenever you're doing a smoky eye, you're gonna have some fallout. I like to do my eyes before I do the concealer because I would hate for black shadow to get onto light concealer. That's just a whole nightmare. So just keep some makeup wipes nearby, wipe it off, and then afterwards just go back and just clean it up and reapply some concealer, and go from there. But there you see me just kind of cleaning everything up to make sure everything is nice and clean. going more into the highlight, getting a little bit of a lighter highlight. My mom is still dancing. But just going into a lighter highlight just to really, like I said, shape that face and brighten that under eye area. And again, don't forget to set. Anything wet that you put on your face, as far as like a cream base, needs to be set. Now, if it's just like a mist or a setting spray, that's fine. But when it comes to like a cream base foundation, concealer, make sure that you set it. And this is my new favorite. It's the Makeup Revolution Banana Luxe Powder, I think it's called. But I just use that to set, and it works wonders. It's a dupe, I guess, for Ben Nye's banana powder, but you can find it at your local Ulta, which is what I love. You don't have to order it online. So I love that. But I'm just, like I said, sculpting the face. She looks amazing already. Like, just And can I just point out the lashes one more time? Like, just the lashes. Jeez. Now, basically what I'm doing right now is sculpting her nose, kind of contouring the nose a little bit. Like I said, when you're doing your makeup, things look harsh while you're doing them, but the beauty of blending is that it mutes it out and it kind of softens it a little bit. So even though it looks like a harsh line there, it's going to turn out really, 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 really nice once you blend everything together. Now we're moving on to contour. Again, this is a really high glam look. So for this particular situation, what I normally tend to do, even on myself, is I apply a heavier contour. And I'll explain why. Basically, what happens is when I blend at the end, everything is going to come together. So that highlight or that blend, or sorry, the contour is going to lessen. It's not going to be as hard. It's not going to be as harsh. And a lot of times, actually, it even fades away. And your face becomes very like monotone, like there's no dimension at all, and you end up having to, at the end of the whole situation, even though you've contoured, you have to go back and contour again. So what I do is I apply it a little bit heavier. That way when I brush off at the end, there's still contour that I don't have to go back and add heavy contour, because nobody wants to look muddy or extra strong in the face, right? So that's just my little thing that I do, kind of like working smarter, not harder. So yeah, just sculpting her face. I love it. Now it's time for the lips, baby. Oh yeah. So we're just lining it now with Cork from MAC, my favorite lip liner ever. Cork and Chestnut are my dynamic duo. Like you can go no wrong with Cork and Chestnut. Like you're in there, you win. But we're just getting the lip. I like to overline the lip just a little bit at the top, even on my lips. My mom has great lips, especially for her what is it called? The widow's peak? Or is it the kiss bow? What is it called? The widow's bow? Whatever the bow is, the little dip at the top of the lip. Now, y'all know what I'm talking about. But she has a great one. It's really deep. So I don't have to overline her lips too much. Just trace the natural shape of it and overline just a smidget just to give her more of a fuller lip. So here I am kind of doing my first stage of blending. When I blend, I think of it like landing a plane. Like there's levels to it. Like you drop a certain amount of feet for the altitude, and then you drop a few more. So for me, I like to blend off a little bit, clean up some areas, do some other things, and then blend off some more. So I don't just blend everything all together. I don't really bake, but I guess it's another way of baking. But here we are. I blended the first stage, and now I'm applying the lip. I'm using a lip by NARS. I forget the name, but again, everything will be in the description bar below. And this lip looked really good for her because it's a nice pinky nude. And it just sets off that smoky eye. Whenever you do a smoky eye, you don't really want to do a bold lip. So this just is perfect. And see, she's dancing again. I don't know what it is. She's a dancer. I believe that she used to be a Soul Train dancer. I haven't found the tape. She hasn't mentioned it, but I believe that she did the Soul Train line. Oh, look at that highlight though. Look how it's just highlighted. And I like to blend the highlight. I hate harsh lines. So So I like to blend the highlight, and as you guys will see, well, I don't know if it actually is on camera, but I actually blended even more in my final stage of blending. Like I told you, I blend like landing a plane, like there's stages to it. So in the final blend, I definitely blended a lot more. But I think she looks amazing. Like, I think she looks really, really good. And I think the camera cut off towards the end where we do the final blend. But just see the pictures at the end and get into it. Like, share, comment, and make sure that you subscribe if you like it. Let us know how you like this video. It's something different from my mom's channel, but it was very fun. And right here, I just changed the light just a little bit till I can see what all was going on. And here I am also spraying my rose water to give it a nice dewy look and to set it. And we're done. Thanks so much for watching. Let us know what you think.